Are guys ever taken by the dancers?
In terms of taking, you mean, are they ever robbed per se, or ripped off in some way, or set up in some way? Absolutely. Absolutely, it happens. I mean, they made a movie about it, a little bit of a douchey movie, but it was still, kind of in the ballpark of how things happen. You know, there's different ways that the guys can get taken. All right. You get taken in the club. That's the most common way, because you're there and you're getting sweet talked and the girl has a hand on your crotch and you think she's interested in you. She couldn't give a shit about you. She's wondering about the shoes she saw at Prada, that she wants to go buy tomorrow. So she's thinking, I got to get that 2-3 grand tonight somehow. I want those shoes. So she's not listening to anything you're saying. She's pretending to, and she may respond to it, but she's trying to get in your pocket. That's one form of a ripoff, in a way. But as far as a real ripoff, yeah, it can happen. I know a guy who took a girl home, had a good time, blah, blah, blah. Woke up in the morning, went their separate ways, gave her whatever it is he was going to give her. Comes home after work and starts going through his jewelry drawer. And he had a collection of Rolex watches. And he noticed two of the watches are not where they're supposed to be. And it looks like somebody tried to make it look like there was nothing missing. That's what a dumb criminal does, where they try to pretend like something is there that's not there, So he immediately realized what had happened. And he goes back to the club and he tells everybody, that he had to tell what happened and blah, blah, blah. I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Girl doesn't come back to work. So now they're trying to figure out, well, we have this ID, we have this and this. Of course, the ID is not real. It doesn't match up or anything. Lo and behold, a few days later, he gets a call from a jeweler who says, listen, a friend of mine at this place said somebody came in and tried to sell him 2 Rolex watches. I know you're missing 2 of your watches. Go see if these are yours. Lo and behold, he goes there. Not only are the watches there, but the stupid broad is still there trying to sell the watches. Bing, bam, boom. She's in handcuffs. She's going, and now she gets locked up for it. That's an easy answer to those kind of things. I had another guy that I know about. The girl actually took paintings off his wall and cut the paintings out of the frame, like she's some master art thief. Moron, what are you going to do with those paintings? You're a stripper. Where are you going to take them and sell them? Those are not paintings that they're going to put up in a dentist's office or the fucking diner, Of course, same thing. She goes to pawn them, goes to get rid of them, goes to fence them, whatever the case was, caught, boom, handcuffs, done. There are other people, though, okay? Listen carefully, who are not as kind at all. And I'll just tell you a little quick story about one of those situations, and there were quite a few. Girl rips off a customer, and the way they set up this scam is they say they need to borrow $1,000 to finish paying their rent. So guy lends them $1,000. Girl comes back 2 days later and gives them $1,000 back. So now they have a little bit of a friendly rapport. When he comes in, she sits with him, they talk, they hang out, he gives her a few dollars. He hasn't really put the move on yet to bang her, and she's not like pushing for that yet because she's trying to milk him and milk him and milk him. So the scenario continues. Next time she borrows $3,000, she gives it back a week later. So he's fine with it. Then she has a business idea, and she needs to invest this money. This genius stripper, right? This brilliant human being has an idea for a business and comes up with some bullshit cockamamie scheme. But she's been paying him back. And she only needs, quote unquote, only needs 10 grand to get her foot in the door with this. He's thinking, fine, she paid me back all the other times. I'll give you the 10 grand. I'll say, I'll give you an extra week. So give it to me in 2 weeks, or give me some this week and some the following week. Okay, no problem. Boom. Gives her the 10 grand in cash. You know, there's no paper trail, nothing like that. So the next week goes by and they sit and talk, and he's asking how it's doing, and she's bullshitting. Yeah, you know, it looks like it's doing good. It may take a little bit longer, but I should have something for you this week, next week. Okay, no problem. Now, he's okay with it because she's still sitting there talking to him, playing it off. And 10 grand per se is not a lot of money to this particular man, you know, because he had big boku dollars. Second week goes by, nothing. And they're still talking and everything. On the third week, he says, you know, you've been good up to now. I hope there's no problem. I hope you can start to give me a little something back. He says, even if you just show face and give me like 1,000 a week or whatever it is, if that's okay and you want to do that, we can do that too. I'm not, you know, dying for the money. Okay, no problem. The end of the fourth week, he's got nothing. And she's not really sitting with him talking as much as she was before she borrowed the money. She's thinking, I got it. It's mine. It's gone. It's over. Why am I going to continue this con? Why am I going to keep doing this? Big mistake for this girl. Big mistake. Most of these girls don't know who you are, you know, and they just want their money. So they don't know who they're ripping off. Again, I'm going to tell you, big mistake, ladies. He went to somebody that he knew who was friends with him. This particular person had a lot of weight, okay? They get the girl somehow to go into a private area of the club. And the gentleman is sitting there. But she doesn't realize that two of his friends are sitting above him in another section. And again, this is off to the side. Nobody can see anything in this part of the club. And it's a part of the club where guys go to be private, obviously, you know? Well, on the tables, there are candles, you know, like for ambiance, they have those little dinner candles. And the girl sits down and she starts talking to the gentleman. The gentleman's being very nice. Now his two friends come over. So the girl is kind of stuck in this booth between one guy, another guy, and then the third guy just directly across. And I can't see in my mind's eye that she didn't realize something's going to happen. Something's going on. But she's probably not a New York chick, and she's probably kind of out there, you know, stripper out there. Well, they took a spoon off the table and they start heating it up, okay, over the flame. And now one guy's got his hand over her mouth and the other guy's holding her arms down. And they take the spoon and they start to burn her a little bit with the spoon. And she doesn't even know what the fuck's going on. She has no idea. So after a few minutes of her like crying and she's, you know, all upset, they said, where's the money? And she's, what money? They start poking at her and bothering her, you know. They stopped with the spoon because they didn't want to mark her up. But at this point, she's getting the message, you know. Here's what happens. Finally, after about a minute of being, when I say finally, a minute of being poked at, prodded at, you know, pinched at, fucked with, talked to, scared to death, she says, let me call my boyfriend. So she calls her boyfriend and the guy grabs her phone. He says, hey, pal, you want to see this chick again? Come bring that money to the club. And he's like, what are you talking about? Gives the girl the phone. And I don't know what they did, but she was crying at this point really badly. So the guy figured this is a problem. So she gives the phone back to the guy. And the guy says, by the way, it's 20 grand, not 10. Click. Well, a little while later, debt was paid. End of story. That was it. Pick your poison carefully. You never know. And don't underestimate anybody.